Now you're going to familiarize yourself with the SVST Code of Conduct. As I present the details of the document to you, I invite you to connect it to the principles that you learned in the first video you watch, so that you may appreciate better why such guidelines have been included in the code. Without further ado, let us now read together the SVST Code of Conduct. Code of Conduct for Personnel. As someone who works at St. Vincent School of Theology, or SVST, I will promote a safe environment for all, especially for minors and vulnerable adults I come in contact with. These minors and vulnerable adults could be members of communities where I do pastoral work, SVST students, and my subordinates. Mindful of the trust and power given unto me as a professional, I will uphold this code of conduct. To keep them safe and protected, I will not touch them in a sexual and inappropriate manner. I will not use my social media accounts and mobile phone to communicate with them in a sexual and inappropriate manner. I will not be alone with them in a residence, rectory, sleeping facility, or any other private, closed room. I will not share a bed with them. I will not take them in an overnight trip alone. I will not visit websites and keep or distribute pornographic pictures and videos of minors. I will not introduce sexually explicit or pornographic topics, vocabulary, music, recordings, films, games, websites, computer software, or entertainment to them. I will not provide them alcohol, cigarettes, or illegal drugs. I will not use, possess, or be under the influence of illegal drugs. I will not drink alcohol when engaged in my ministry and work. I will not use physical form of discipline. I will not humiliate, ridicule, bully, or degrade them. Measures to aid observance of the Code of Conduct. To help me keep the promises in the Code, I will report anyone who violates this Code to the proper authorities, to the SVST Dean, or to the Rector, or to the Provincial Superior of the Congregation of the Mission. You may also report the person who committed the crime of sexual abuse, particularly against children, to public authorities like the police. I will avoid physical contact when alone with a minor or vulnerable adult. Physical contact with minors or vulnerable adults can be misconstrued, especially in private settings. I will avoid overnight stays with a minor or vulnerable adult unless there is another adult present in a supervisory role. I will avoid providing overnight accommodations for minors or vulnerable adults in private residences. I will avoid driving alone in a vehicle with a minor or vulnerable adult. I will assume the full burden for setting and maintaining clear, appropriate physical and emotional boundaries in all ministerial and teaching relationships. I will refrain from giving expensive or inappropriate gifts to a minor or vulnerable adult. I will avoid meeting privately with minors or vulnerable adults in rooms, offices, or similar areas where there is no window or where the door cannot remain open. If one-on-one pastoral care of a minor or a vulnerable adult is needed, for example, sacrament of reconciliation, advising, or counseling, and the like, I will use designated rooms and areas and avoid meeting in isolated locations. I will exercise caution in communicating through emails or the internet. Do not share email addresses or other personal social media accounts to children. If there is a need to communicate with children I will only share work ministry-related email addresses to their parents. I will ensure that all outside school activities for which I am responsible have been approved in advance by the appropriate administrator. Practical suggestions. These are some practical suggestions for identifying permissible and impermissible conduct. Conduct that may be permissible. Any touching can be misunderstood and must be considered with great discretion. Depending on the circumstances, the following forms of affection are customarily, but not always, regarded as appropriate: verbal praise, handshakes, high fives and fist bumps, pats on the shoulder or back, hugs that are brief, holding hands during prayer, pats on the head, mano, and beso-beso. Conduct that is not permissible. In order to maintain the safest possible environment for minors and vulnerable adults, the following are examples of affection that are not to be used: inappropriate or lengthy embraces, kisses on the mouth, touching buttocks, chest, legs, or genital areas, showing affection in isolated areas such as bedrooms, closets, staff-only areas, or other private rooms, wrestling or tickling minors or vulnerable adults, any type of massage given by a minor to an adult or by an adult to a minor, any form of unwanted affection, compliments that relate to physique or body development. That is the end of the Code of Conduct. And after that, you will find, once you download the document, the acknowledgement of receipt. Let me read the form. The purpose of this Code of Conduct is to make clear that certain behaviors are unacceptable at SVST. The following is the official receipt denoting that the individual whose signature appears below has read and understood and understands the guidelines contained in the attached Code of Conduct document. Please complete, sign, and submit this form. I have read and have understood the guidelines contained in the attached Code of Conduct, and I intend to follow these guidelines and to monitor and protect students, young people, and vulnerable adults in my service to the school. I understand that any action inconsistent with this Code of Conduct or failure to take action mandated by this Code of Conduct may merit disciplinary action. Then write your name, your signature, your position, your date, your email or contact number. Then submit this form to the SVST office. We now end the presentation here. After this, you may begin taking the short quiz. And after the quiz, download the copy of the Code of Conduct, sign the attached acknowledgement receipt, and submit it to the SVST office. Thank you very much.